Hi, I'm Zaki Siddiqui, and welcome to Pardon the Interruption. Today I'm here with Alana and Brody, and our first topic is who is your NFL sleeper team for this upcoming season?
I'm going to say the Chargers. I think that last year they had a lot of potential, but injuries really did kill them. And I think that this year, if they're healthy, and since they got a new offensive coordinator, because the last one, Joe Lombardi, was just terrible. He didn't let Justin Herbert use his arm, really. So I feel like if Justin Herbert can use more of what he's known for, I feel like the Chargers can be really good. They got new offensive weapons. Their defense looks good, and if they're healthy, I think that the Chargers are going to be a good sleeper pick this year.
Yeah, but you have Brandon Staley, who decides you should just go on every fourth down there is to exist. How are you going to be successful with a coach like that?
I think he's just a aggressive coach, and I think he's going to learn from his mistakes last year. I think he is known for a defensive coach, so he's not really that much good of a head coach. But I think that hopefully he'll know what to do this year and have better decisions.
It's 2 seasons already where he's made all these stupid calls time after time. We think he's not going to do it, but every time they're going on fourth down, they're making that field goal when they shouldn't be. I don't understand what the logic is behind the Chargers. They're not going to be successful. We saw what they did in Jacksonville. It's embarrassing what the Chargers have done. How can they ever make it far?
I feel like I said, the defense was really banged up, and I feel like that if we have a healthy defense, or if they have a healthy defense, they can be very good. And I just think that Brandon Staley needs to work on I do agree with you. I think he needs to work on his decisions. But if he has good decision-making, they can be a top 5 team.
All right, Alana, who's your sleeper team?
I'm going to go with a team that shares the same stadium in the Rams. We saw what they were able to do in 2022 and winning the Super Bowl. But last season, similar to the Chargers, decimated by injuries. You have Matt Stafford with a very scary injury in Week 11, a neck injury. I think he had a concussion also. You had Cooper Kupp going down with a high ankle sprain in Week 10 that required surgery. I think that with a completely healthy roster, we've seen what Sean McVay can do with this team. They have complete, utter dominance when they are completely healthy. And again, I think you still have the top defensive weapon with Aaron Donald. You can be unstoppable.
I mean, I feel like the Rams really just kind of don't have a good run game. I feel like that run game is pretty weak because I feel like Cam Akers just isn't that guy. And that secondary defense is just awful. They don't really have anybody that can stop that pass game. And I guess Aaron Donald, he's a really good defender. But if they just force to the other side, nobody really else there. But
they still have a top wide receiver in Cooper Kupp who's completely dominant. And if with a healthy Matt Stafford, you don't think that even if their secondary is a little shaky, they can still win?
I mean, Matt Stafford isn't really the ideal Patrick Mahomes. He's not that
no
great.
One's Patrick Mahomes except Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, but I feel like Matt Stafford's kind of a little washed after that Super Bowl. And after coming off that shoulder injury, it's going to be a little hard for him to get back into his groove.
I mean, we keep seeing more and more older quarterbacks be successful in the league. I think Matt Stafford still has a lot in him.
I agree with that. But also going to Cooper Kupp, I feel like he might want to not be with the Rams anymore. But
All right, guys, I'm going to have to hold you there. Moving on to our next topic, who do we think is going to be in the World Series this year? Who do we think our matchup is going to be?
All right, so we've seen some really great teams so far this season. So I'm going to start with the NL. I still love the Braves. We've seen what they've been able to do in the postseason before. I think Ronald Acuna Jr. is still probably could be the best player in the National League still. Their pitching, while it sometimes has been shaky, I still really like Max Fried and Spencer Strider. We haven't heard those names a lot this season, but I think in the postseason they can really shine. And overall, they're completely dominating the NL East this season. I think they have the best record in the NL right now, and I don't see that changing. What about you for the NL?
For the NL, I would have taken the Braves, like if you said 2 weeks ago. But right now, I'm thinking the Dodgers, just because of the hot streak they've been coming off. I mean, the hitters are really – Mookie Betts has just been amazing lately. And I think they just have too many key pieces for them to just go so wrong.
But what pitching do you think they have that can get them far?
I mean, they have lost a good couple of starting pitchers to injuries, but I also don't think that they have the best closing pitchers.
That's what the Braves top them in there.
Yeah. But I feel like just the Braves are going to – I don't feel like the Braves can do what they've been doing the whole season. I feel like the Dodgers are kind of coming off a hot streak. And then moving to the AL, I believe the Orioles
Oh my goodness.
are going to make the World Series this year.
Oh, jeez.
They have the best record in the AL right now. They just came up. They're 13-16 in their last 16 games, and I feel like they have such a young talent that's so great. Adley
That's the
Rutschman,
thing. They're way too young. They have no playoff experience
But-
compared to other teams.
but Gunnar Henderson is really good right now. He's can hit the ball, and
Everyone can hit the ball. They play baseball.
I mean, yeah, but not the Rays right now. The Rays are terrible right now. Randy Arozarena is the most overrated player in baseball, in my
I don't
opinion.
think so. The Rays are still a top contender, but they're not my pick here. I'm going to go with a wild one and say the Texas Rangers are going to be making it. We've seen what they've been able to do this season. After finally putting in all that money, they've finally been successful. I think Corey Seager's still a top guy. Josh Jung has been absolutely incredible. I really like what the Rangers have done this season, and I think they're going to be able to compete more than the Orioles because they have more guys who have playoff experience.
Well, I feel like the Orioles still have those. They still have good old players like Adam Frazier, who has.
But they're not having a major impact on the team, especially on the score sheet.
Well, I guess that. Well, Adam Frazier is actually having one of his best years in his career right now. But I think he's just there to guide the young players and do what they have to do. And also moving on to the pitching, I feel like the Orioles have one of the most underrated pitching staffs there.
If you go up to, I'd say, 10 people and say, name the Orioles starting 5, they're not going to be able to do that.
Well, yeah, but the Orioles actually Dean Kramer, who just pitched yesterday. He has the best record in the MLB right now.
I mean, there's still a lot of baseball to play, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, and that's our show. Thank you for tuning in. This was Pardon the Interruption.